If I ask you, what's 2 plus 2, and you tell me 5, no, that's the wrong answer, right? But at least it's a numerical answer, right? That demonstrates to me that at least you understand the nature of the question, right? If I ask you, what's 2 plus 2, and you tell me apple, that is a much bigger problem, right? Because you don't even seem to understand the nature of the question. You've given me a word response. It's we've got a bigger problem here, right? Now, this is really interesting in terms of understanding whether all bullshit is created equal or all lies are equally untrue. They're not, right? There are categories of untruth, and some things are far more, far more like untrue than others, right? Now, Socrates deals with this, well, Plato's character Socrates in The Republic, and then again in his dialogue, The Laws, which is traditionally believed to be something that he wrote much later on in life when he's older and wiser and tired. And he has a character in there which is called the Athenian stranger, who is commonly believed to be just a stand-in for Socrates, essentially. But so in the young idealistic Plato that wrote The Republic, there Socrates, he wouldn't even be satisfied with the right answer, right? So obviously he would say the person who says 5 and the person who says apple, they are obviously wrong. But if you said 4, Socrates wouldn't be satisfied with that. He would have some further questions for you, right? Now, if you said to him, well, I believe that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, and if he said, well, like an annoying high school math teacher who wants to see your work, right? If he said, explain to me why it's 4, right? Well, let's say you said, well, I really don't know why it's 4. I just know that my father told me when I was a kid that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. And then Socrates would say, well, how did your father learn that? And he says, well, his grandfather, his father, my grandfather, taught him when he was a little boy that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Well, then how did your grandfather? Well, his father, my great-grandfather, and so on, like going back generations. And we've just always known that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. But this person, right, can't explain why that is the case, right? Socrates would say that the person who believes that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 but can't explain to you why that is the case, they are just as wrong as the person who says that the answer is 5 or apple, right? They're completely wrong. The only person who truly has the right answer, according to the Plato of the Republic, right, his character Socrates, would be someone who can explain to you in some convincing fashion precisely how they came to that answer. So maybe, like when I asked my son Tristan when he was a little kid, after reading this, I went and asked him, like, so how do you know that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4? And he took his hands and he said, well, 2 basically stands for like a quantity of something. And so I have my 2 fingers, and then I have another 2 fingers, that's 2 of them. And you put them together, now there's a quantity of 4 fingers. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 is the symbol for 4 of something, right? And so he had like an answer right to it, right? Socrates would say that I don't know, he was 4 at the time, or 3 or 4, that he understood the right answer, and he understood why it was the right answer, right? What's interesting is when you get to Plato's laws, the laws, you get a different message there, right? So in the Republic, there's this sense that really the best thing would be to have a society where everybody, and especially the rulers, not only knows the truth, but understands why the truth is the truth, right? They understand the logic behind the laws, and they understand the rationale behind all of the laws. But what you get is a much more pragmatic, a much more kind of maybe tired old Plato in the Laws. And there he says, well, you know, it would be nice if everybody could understand the rationale and the logic behind the laws, but that is a tall order. Maybe that's not always going to be actually possible, right? So maybe actually a close second that is going to be much more realistic and possible most of the time is to say, right, let's just have good laws, right? Good laws are better than bad laws. And so maybe we kind of do what Machiavelli would call, we institutionalize virtue, right? So it's okay if the people who rule the city have good laws and good traditions, even if they don't understand them, right? So I'll leave it there, and I'm gonna go get eaten by mosquitoes.